Hi, welcome back to another classic Doctor Who review. Oh, the hair is not agreeing with me today. Oh, okay. Today will be rather short because I only have a few words to say about the infamous, I'd probably say, the infamous story, Warriors of the Deep. Now, it's just bad. It's honestly bad. And I'm going to tell you my rating now. I'd honestly give it 4 out of 10. Um, it So the Silurians and the Sea Devils returning after having been away from Doctor Who for like a decade, you know, that sounds good on paper. Having them combine forces sounds good on paper. In practice, it didn't work out because don't think I don't think this was a particular Silurian-y story. Like, I really think this could have been any invading race and it would have been the same. Like, I understand they're mad because they want the planet, but there's a lot less about the actual, like, sort of, technically they do have the right to this planet. They were here first, but, the humans didn't know, the humans haven't done anything wrong. They don't really do anything with that moral stuff in this story. It's only 4 parts, so it's not very long. And I feel like they try and squeeze so much into 4 parts, and it's all bad, so there isn't a lot of room for the Silurians and Sea Devils. I'll get into like their redesigns. I don't mind the Silurian redesign. I think it's all right. And I'm not a fan of the Sea Devil redesign. I don't really get who sat down and was like, you know what they need? Samurai-inspired armor. Despite the fact that the last time we saw them, they literally just wore netting. Okay. And then the Merca is a thing. I mean, the Merca, again, is kind of an interesting idea. It's like a prehistoric creature that they used to take down the base, but... Because there's a dinosaur. I think I always forget there is a dinosaur in Doctor Who and the Silurians. So it's kind of interesting that they'd actually like create a new creature, not just, oh, here's a dinosaur. But it's just like a big panto donkey, basically. And the fact that it kills you when you touch it, it it's not awful. It's not terrible. Although that bit where that isn't that like traitorous lady like tries to kung fu it, that is hilarious. That is unintentionally one of the funniest classic Doctor Who scenes I've ever seen. I don't know what she thought she was achieving there. Which reminds me, so there's a subplot basically about it's all this political bullshit with these like humans who have their own motivation. It's just like, for goodness sake. Like, I don't think a Silurian story needs a political tale about humans betraying humans. I mean, it could have been interesting, I think, but if it was actually like a good story, maybe you could do something interesting with like talking about how maybe have one of the Silurians commenting on like the humans don't even trust themselves. How are we meant to trust them? But they weren't that clever. So the main characters, obviously, the Fifth Doctor's like, he's fine. He's not my favourite Peter Davison story, as in like his performance. And Tegan and Turlo are fine. I don't understand that recurring fart joke. I didn't like that at all. I mean, there are some of the supporting cast give good performances, and I kind of like that the story ends on like a bum note. The Doctor's not happy that, of the solution they thought of. He wishes that the Silurians didn't have to die, but there was no other option. What's an interesting element to this story is they write the Fifth Doctor and that the sort of head Silurians dialogue as if they've met before, and you would think perhaps they were talking about Doctor Who and the Silurians. That doesn't make any sense because like there's no, because he's part of like a something triad, or wasn't he? It was like this Silurians like part of something bigger, and there was no mention of this in Doctor Who and the Silurians. Also, I'm pretty sure didn't all the Silurians in that story die? So yeah, it maybe I'm wrong. If I am wrong, I'll correct myself. It's just a bit odd. But I know, I'm pretty sure they did a book actually, I think, where they basically like, it was like a prequel to Warriors of the Deep. So I think it was just the writer, who I can't remember who the writer is, I'll put it up here. I guess was trying to write this as a sequel to Doctor Who and the Silurians, but decided that he was just going to insert loads of extra information that wasn't actually part of Doctor Who and the Silurians. And the Sea Devils also, like, this is a team-up, but the Sea Devils are just the Silurians' foot soldiers. There's no real reference to them having any kind of, like, differing ideologies. I think in a modern story where you combine the Sea Devils and the Silurians, there'd be arguments between them. But literally once they awaken the Sea Devils, and also, by the way, the Silurians, that also reminds me, the Silurians and Sea Devils take ages to actually, like, get to doing anything. Like, they just sort of spend a lot of time just hanging around. But the Sea Devils, once they get awoken, just literally become the Silurian soldiers. So why didn't they just make it a Silurian story, and then just have like some more Silurian costumes? That's what I want to know. To be fair, this from what we know from behind the scenes, this was a very troubled story when it comes to production. So it's honestly a wonder we got a finished story. It's a bad story, 4 out of 10. It's definitely the worst classic story I've seen so far. It's a mediocre opening to Peter Davison's final season. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, subscribe. If you didn't, then don't. I'm sorry.